Greetings, my people. It's Mr. PDT yet again on another episode of the Enlightenment series. The recent massacre in Kenya by this Paul Mackenzie, it has left so many people speechless. And there are some who used not to believe the things that we talk about here, the occultic rituals going on in these prophetic shrines. But I just want to thank God for revealing stuff like this, for exposing things like this at a very critical moment. And it's just that Mackenzie is very unfortunate. He was unfortunate to be caught red-handed, to be the one to be exposed. The rest of them are still living at large. The rest of them have managed to conceal their diabolic activities. And I've been telling you this, my people. It's not only Mackenzie who's doing this. Everyone that is in the prophetic, this is what they are doing. Where you are going thinking that it's a place of worship, underground there are dead bodies, babies that were sacrificed so that they can pull crowds. These people are operating with the forces of darkness, with the powers of darkness. Without a sacrifice, you can never make it in the prophetic. What kind of sacrifice? Human sacrifice. Be on high alert, my people, and just know that you're on your own. If you don't decide to seek Christ on your own, if you don't decide to seek the truth on your own, if you don't decide to have a personal relationship with God in your own personal capacity, then you're going to fall prey to these vultures, to these vampires. That's what they really are. Just think about the death toll at Mackenzie's shrine. The shallow graves that have been dug from that property which was meant to be a land for his shrine, for his church establishment. Just think about the little babies, my people. People that were made to starve to death. People that are desperate to meet Christ. People that are desperate to have an encounter with God. Who have been indoctrinated to that level, to that depth of believing what a man says. And the reason why they believe what a man says without questioning what the man is saying is because they have not read the book. And I keep directing you people to stop following these vampires and know the truth for yourself. Just read this book, my people. It's not that difficult. If you can watch a movie which is 1 hour 30 minutes, if you can watch a soccer match which is 90 minutes, you can definitely read this book in different time frames. In a month, you can finish reading this book. It won't do you any harm other than bring you more light. Read this book before you follow any man. So many people ask me, so who should we go to? Who should we follow? Why are you so concerned about following someone when everything that you need to know is in this book? Why are you so concerned about a religious gathering? Instead of you sitting down with your family at home and reading this book and understanding the message. The message is right in here. What you need to know, what you need to do is right in here, in this book. Why do you need some vagabond, a school dropout, an occultic bastard out there to come and tell you about things that are in plain text in this book? The way some of you are so adamant. You keep asking me that very stupid question. Okay, so should we stop going to church? Oh, prophets, you are an enemy of the church. You want us to stop going to church? Yes, I want you to stop going to church until you know what the word says, until you know the message. You are a liability and a threat to the kingdom if you keep gathering without knowing the context, without knowing the message, without knowing the truth, because you'll be brainwashed. And after you've been brainwashed, you'll be indoctrinated with diabolical doctrines. And when do you end? In a mass grave, in a shallow grave, hoping to meet Christ. And at the end of the end, you realize that you were being lied to. There's no Christ that all those that perish is going to meet. They are meeting no Christ. There's no encounter that they had with God after their death experience or after their starvation period, under the instructions of this diabolic charlatan, this evil man called Mackenzie. There's no Christ that they met. There's no encounter that they had with God. And the question that you should be asking yourselves, my people, now it's time for enlightenment. I want you to take a deep breath, especially you gullible followers of these diabolic men. Ask yourself a question. In the Church of God, let's ask these questions now. Why are all these other DDGOs quiet about this? Why are all these renowned spiritual leaders, these men of God, not talking about this? The answer is simple, because they are also in the same business. They are also in the same business. If they talk about it, they'll be exposing themselves. Tell me if there's a preacher under the sun who does not know about this massacre, about these sacrifices that were made by Paul Mackenzie. Tell me one spiritual leader in Africa who's not aware of this. They are all aware, but they'll never address it. They'll never condemn it, because they're in the same business. Every shrine you're going to, there are dead bodies beneath it. Every man calling themselves a prophet, not just a prophet. Were they not making noise about the politicians in Nigeria? Were they not coming, mounting their pulpits, condemning politicians over rigging of elections? Why are they dead silent about this? This is not the first time they have been silent. When TB Joshua sacrificed 116 people at his shrine, they were all dead silent about it. They will not talk about it. When Jeremiah Omoto kidnapped baby testimony at his shrine, it's not like they don't know anything about it. They know everything about it. They'll never talk about it. They are in the same business. It's a cartel. And I am of the belief that these people are not working alone. They are probably working hand in hand with the politicians, with some rich mafias out there. These people, I don't think they're just being sacrificed for spiritual gain or their diabolic rituals. They're probably doing organ harvesting. And they're targeting these innocent people. That's why you see so many of these kids. They are disappearing in these shrines. There is some billionaire somewhere out there who's having organ failure. And they'll target these little ones who are still healthy and in good health condition and say, let's harvest their organs. Let's trade. Anything is possible, my people. How do you justify? How do you explain what Mackenzie was doing? How do you justify it? Do you just think it's his own mental dysfunction? It can't be. There must be some big monetary value that he gets out of this whole thing. Apart from the money that is extorting the gullibles, because another theory, another conspiracy theory says, after he takes money from these people, he does not want them to come back asking for it, because he has taken so much money from people. So the best way to get rid of these people, because he strips these people, like he leaves them bankrupt. He leaves them with nothing. He takes everything that they've worked for. And after he has taken everything that they've worked for, you tell them to fast. And this is how the process of fasting goes. First, the children must fast. They must be starved to death. After the children perish, after the children die, then the women, the mother, they also have to starve to death. And when the mothers have starved and fasted for whatever period or duration, when they die, then comes the father, then comes the man. The man is the last man that goes in this entire ritual. Now it's an entire lineage, it's an entire family that has been sacrificed. And these people, they have given Mackenzie all the money that they've ever worked for. So who's going to come and claim? And there is no one in the family that knows that this is what happens or what happened. Because before he invites them to his shrine, he makes sure he tells them that do not make any contact with anyone. Do not tell anyone that you're going for this ritual. Do not tell anyone that you are visiting Mackenzie's shrine. Do not tell anyone. So there will be no trace. Even the people that went to Joshua's shrine, there was no trace of them being at Joshua's shrine. The only time that it was discovered that most of them were from South Africa is when they were looking now at the documentations of the people that had booked at his occultic guest house. My people, you are all going to die like fowls if you do not wake up. And I feel sorry for the gullibles that keep crying for their DDGOs. It's very shocking and it's disappointing that those that were rescued, they were even denying medication. They were even denying food. They were saying that if we eat food, we're not going to meet Christ. We'll face the wrath of God. Imagine the level of indoctrination and brainwash that these charlatans are doing, have caused. to these gullible, blind followers. And the question that I asked earlier remains, why are other DDGOs quiet and silent about it? They are birds of the same feather. Run for your lives, my people. Run for your lives. You are signing your own death sentences in these prophetic shrines. You're all going to die like fowls. And we're not going to feel sorry for you anymore. We are not. We're just going to be watching and talking about it like this. But we really don't feel sorry for you. Because you don't listen. You don't want to listen. You think you are too spiritual. You think we are carnal. You think we are the ones fighting the church, the body of Christ. There's no body of Christ in Nigeria. There's no body of Christ in Kenya. There's no body of Christ anywhere in Africa. It is yet to come. But all these institutions calling themselves bodies of Christ, churches of God, all these are shrines, my people. All of them are shrines. A time is coming. True servants of Christ are coming. The ones who are going to preach the truth. The word that Christ came to preach, to deliver. They are still yet to come. The ones we have at the moment, they are all charlatans. They are all useless vagabonds, criminals, imposters. That's what they really are. They have nothing of God, they're hearing nothing from God. They're just serving their best interest. Take it or leave it. Be emotional about it if you want to. But that's just the truth. These are criminals. They deserve to be behind bars. They must be behind bars. It's unfortunate we don't have good leaders that can come up with proper, constitution clauses that restricts and monitors and guides and penalize these evildoers who are doing their criminal activities in the name of religion. My people, till I meet you again on the next episode of the Enlightenment series, it's Mr. PDT, and I'm out.